Hey, it's AuntieLan. Today I have a letter from Nola. So Nola says, Dear AuntieLan, I was in a long-term, long-distance relationship with someone for over 6 years. I thought it was going somewhere until it wasn't. I felt like I did all the right things to make it work, but not enough for him to make a true commitment to us. The whole moving together, getting married, etc., etc. Every year he has told me it's coming, be patient, and every year I have found that nothing has changed. I feel like I'm doing something wrong. I've asked him if I am, and he said everything with us is fine. How long do I wait? I've told him what I wanted every year. Do I throw away the time and energy and love I put into our relationship and try to find another one? Or do I stay and risk another year of potential disappointment and hurt? Ooh, wee, Nola. That's a toughie for a couple reasons. I say everything's a toughie. I I'm gonna stop saying that. Some things are tougher than others. This is huge because this is your life, right? And for a long time, I've felt like if you are like, I guess I didn't. I've been married. I'm divorced. Prior to that, and since that, I had kind of a hard time grasping the idea of wanting to marry someone, but then if they're not ready for that, then splitting from them. Because I felt like if you are with a person that you think you want to spend the rest of your life with, why do you have to be married to do that? However, I also finally, in my maturity, have come to understand, the significance of that for some people. Um, what I guess I'd like for you to examine for yourself is if you believe that your partner is 100% committed to you, considering that it's long distance, or if you have any inkling about whether that's solid, because that's important to know. And this is a long time to be long distance. Um, and there's also just, let's say, the conversation that has not a lot to do with whether you all get married, etc. Like, what is it that he wants to do in life? Like, 6 years is not a short amount of time. And so there's all of that. Blah, blah, blah. AuntieLan. Ultimately, this is what I say to you. If you love this man and you want to be with him regardless, then maybe don't press the issue. If you love this man, but you want a life that has a husband in it, and I don't know if you want children or build a family or whatever, and he's not coming along after all this time, then you have to decide if you need to move on from him. So I am being careful in terms of not telling you what to do, because you have to do what genuinely feels right to you and what makes sense to you. If you anticipate this disappointment and hurt, you can only protect yourself from that. You can't rely on him to protect you from that. If he thinks he's gonna do this as long as you let him, it sounds like, right? Like, he can only keep not proposing or not having that conversation or not making a plan with you as long as you're around for him to keep not making those steps with. So you gotta weigh the pros and cons. It's like, if you just want to be married because that's something you want, or if it is you want to be married to him. And that's where I get stuck, right? Like, because if you want to be with him, do you want to be married because that is the logical next step, because that is the societal norm, is that familial pressure, or do you want to start a family? Like, what are those reasons that marriage would trump the relationship with the person that you want to be married to? That's the duality of that for me. For in me having an opinion about that, but it's curious too, because I want to make sure that you are as aware of the true circumstances as you can possibly be, and whether or not this delay has to do with what he might have going on where he is. And I don't know, I don't mean to suggest that that's an absolute, but I think that that could be a factor. It's just life. If you are comfortable and confident that that is clear, then those are the things you got to figure out. Is, do you want to be married for the sake of marriage? Not to bottom line it to that degree, but whoever that will be, I imagine there will be love and caring and awesomeness in that marriage. But where do you place the value, on marriage or on the partnership with him? Are you happy otherwise? Right? Like, in the interim between your conversations about what's next or when is this going to take the next level, like your actual relationship and your day to day, and when you do spend time together, like what all of those things separate from this longing that you have, do you feel good about the relationship you have with him? I've had friends who wanted to be married, and they would have married people that they shouldn't have married because they wanted to be married, and luckily they didn't, whether because that person took too long or whatever the case. And they have each, I'm thinking of two friends in particular, they have each ended up with a husband that was the husband that they should have had, and not the person that they were with for a long time, kind of waiting for that next step. So I've observed what you're trying to avoid, and it go well. But it is about your connection to him. And if you could stand to, if this is the person you want to marry, if you could stand to not be with him, right? Thank you for this question. I like the meaty stuff, even though I'm always wondering, am I really helping? I hope so. I'd love a follow-up if you make a decision, or if he proposes, or if y'all plan on living in the same place or whatever. It would be great to hear how that's gone. Thank you so much for writing. Subscribe if you haven't, and everybody else too. If you haven't, subscribe. Follow me on Instagram or Facebook, and tell people. And also write me letters. I like them. And let me know if you need urgent responses, because so far, this once a week on Sunday night is pretty cool. I like it. It's a great way to end/start my week. That's it. Thanks again. That's all I got. Bye.